As for me, I don't feel financial instability should be an hindrance to marriage. You don't have to own a house or cars before settling down. Like my mom says, your wife might be the key to your success. Age doesn't count, but be sure you are emotionally ready. So this is a comment from a Twitter follower named Ajoke after I sent a post in relation to today's episode of my podcast on Twitter. So what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 26 of Reality Monday with yours truly, Damilare Mapa. Thank you very much for staying with me. Well, this is the first episode I'll be running a poll asking for people's opinion before I do this episode. But then I feel like it's something nice. It's something I'll be doing often. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so sometime last week, me and my mom were having a conversation about marriage. Please, it's not about me. It is definitely not about me. So I think most of the people that were even answering my questions on Twitter were thinking, maybe they were trying to console me. I don't understand. But then it is not about me. We're just talking. And then I have a lot of weird opinions in relation to one of my Twitter followers. But then putting down all those other opinions and taking wisdom from other sources like religious sources, societal norm, which is actually, it has been savored these days. It's something that it is hard to follow, especially in this generation. There are some societal norm that you just should not follow at all at this period. Especially, no, don't let me give my opinion on that. So when after that conversation, my mom was she had a certain age. She was saying you have to be below 30 before you get married. That is sensible to get married below 30, which I see some sense in it. I see some wisdom in it. But then in this current age and century, it is not always like that. Especially most of my Twitter followers were saying, most of them were talking about having financial stability, having emotional stability, which is logical too. But then you still have to put into consideration other factors. Oh God. It's a freestyle. So anyways, I would just I would say the post that I gave, then I'll talk about the opinions that I got, and then I'll give my own opinion lastly. So I sent a post. I said I was having a conversation with my mom last week, and I'm curious, what's your opinion on the right age to get married? So I already said the first opinion, which was at the beginning of this episode. Then someone, a wonderful follower named Blessing, said, I don't think there's a right age to get married. When you feel like you are financially and emotionally balanced, then you are good to go. Okay. Then Salia, yes, the brilliant and thought, yes, the poet, one very wonderful person on my Twitter. So she said, left to me, no right age, no wrong age. The race is different. Whatever age anybody wants to settle down for marriage shouldn't be questioned. Okay. Well, the last opinion I would be talking about is very short. Someone named Mr. Mysterious. Wonderful. When you are mentally and financially stable. So if you see the common thing between all these opinions, you'd see that even the first one I was talking about, you don't have to be financially everybody is always talking about money these days. I don't understand. Is life all about, well, that's a podcast for another day. But then talking about marriage, we know money is important, emotions is important. You don't want to get into a marriage if you are not emotionally stable, so that marriage will not crash in maybe say in the night that you get married itself. Because I've heard scenarios of people that fight because of toothbrush and they break up, which is very, very thought-provoking and weird. Anyways, so talking about age now, apart from mental, emotional, financial differences, there's this thing that comes with age when you talk about marriage. For me, I'm not talking about really my personal opinion, because to be honest, there were some conversations I had after I posted this on Twitter where we had to continue after the first opinion was given. So there was someone I was talking to, and she was like, "It's not that marriage is not really for everybody." And to be honest, I feel marriage is not for everybody. But then, even my own religion, sometimes I try to put all these things into perspective and like come out with a logical explanation of why maybe traditions, religions say all these things. Then if it goes well, if I see like the end result is good, I would take that opinion and like combine it with my personal want. So talking about marriage, I feel like if it were possible, if not for the fact that okay, I saw sense in what my religion said about the fact that marriage is half of your deen. So it is something that is very, very important in someone's life, because to be honest, some people might not agree with this, but a part of the being responsible in life is you getting married. It shows responsibility to an extent. It shows how you can, it even teaches you so many things: managing a family, building a home, being loved, loving your children, growing up your, sorry for that phrase, growing up your children, and so many things like that. So especially in relation to your family, the family that you want to build, age is very, very important. We're talking about the fact that my dad got married late, I think 30 something, and to be honest, I felt the difference between the age difference between me and my dad. There are so many of my dad's mates that their children have gotten married. My dad is supposed to be a grandfather, and some people might not see sense in this, but it actually has meaning. It has meaning. When you get married at the age of 30 something, 35, 36, 40, and you give birth to a child after that age, the way you would relate, you will not even be able to relate, because generations are changing. My dad's generation is totally different from mine. If you see the problem that I've gone through, the amount of conversation I've had to sit down with them and like tell them about the fact that the kind of mentality that you had in the 90s or the early middle 90s is different from the one that you have in the late 20s, 21st century. It is very, very important. People don't think about this, because the age difference between you and your parents has a whole lot of difference. It makes a whole lot of difference. It makes you guys understand each other, because if you are not from the same century, or should I say what was it called, you have this development, or you get what I'm trying to say. When things change, in short, you have so many differences in these things, and if you are not in that same realm with your son or with your daughter or with your child, it is very, very hard for you to relate with them and to like maintain a good family. So many people have lost their children. They've lost their words. They've lost some people that they even took in based on the age difference between them. And also marrying a lady that is even way younger than you, maybe 20 something and you're 40 something. I feel there's a cut. There's definitely a cut there. So it is better for people to like put age into consideration when they want to get married. If you have that, work to get that financial stability. Although me that I'm talking to, so help me God. But me, I want it to be like, I don't want my family to have so much difference with me. I don't want the children that I'll give birth to like look at me and be like, this man is like from another century, something like that. You get? So this factor is very important for me. There are so many other reasons like your parents would want to have grandchildren. You never know these days. It's only God, and God knows best. You don't know when you die. You don't know when your parents would die. Even though it is something that people don't like to hear, but it will happen. So it is better for you to give them that joy of the fact that okay, my parent, my ward, my son my daughter has gotten married, and so many things. And when you get married, you might feel like freedom. Everybody loves freedom, even me. That's one of the reasons why I feel like if it were possible, if not for my religion and some other things, I don't want to get married because I love that my freedom. But there's so many factors involved, so many emotional factors. You are an human being. Except for me, if you are wood, it's not possible. You have to have some particular person. You cannot just be jumping from one person to the other. And you will feel you would need that love, you would need that affection, you would need that partner at the end of the day. So it is something that is very, very important. People should look into this. I feel as you are growing up, there's so many things, so many life lessons that you'd learn that will just make you see the sense in getting married earlier. There are so many scenarios that I've heard of parents that die before they can even eat the fruit of their labor. There are so many parents that will even regret. Is when later in life that they will now start regretting. If I knew I'd have married earlier. So that's my own opinion. Well, I have to go now because the person that is carrying me out has already telling me to. Let's go. Anyways, this episode I poured a lot of originality into it. So I hope you saw sense in what I said, and I would love for us to still continue this conversation anytime soon. So thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you on the next episode. It's still your guy, your point. I feel like there's a lot of what's it called? A lot of effect of the fasting inside this episode. But then this is another original part of me. I'll be sharing a whole lot of as time goes on. So thank you very much for everybody that gave their opinion for this episode. I really appreciate. So see you in the next one. Peace.